I found this huge black oak tree here right next to the road. Sorry about the noise. And as huge as this tree is, it really isn't that old. It's only about 100, 120 years old tops. And in terms of oaks' ages, it really is a young tree. Oaks get to live 500, 600 years easily. Black oak is native to North America, east of the Mississippi, basically in the United States. It is, though, widely planted for ornamental purposes. It's a good-looking tree. You might have one in your backyard, in your playground, in your street, in your favorite park. So in this video, I want to review the major botanical features that help identify black oak. It's just a good-looking tree. Let's start here with the leaves, because the oak's branches are nearly horizontal, spreading. The ends of the branches here are so close to the ground I can reach them, we can look at them. I don't need a ladder for this. So let's start with the leaves here. Leaves are lobed. They look like this. They are between 6 and 8 inches long. This one is about 7 inches long, so that's between 10 and 20 centimeters. This one is about 15 centimeters long. The leaves have between 5 to 7 leaf lobes. So this would be the first 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, and this would be the 7th lobe here. And over here, this leaf, this one has 5 there. What's noticeable, or what's an identifying feature about these lobes, is that the lobes here, or these notches, are wide and they go deep. They go fairly close to the midvein. And the length of the leaf surface here, the distance from the midvein here and here, is approximately the same. Okay, so between the first pair of lobes and the second pair of lobes, this distance is roughly the same. On the last leaf lobe, this distance here, between these two notches here, the distance, the width of the leaf here is less than half the length of this last lobe. So if you take this distance, it fits at least twice into the length of this last lobe. On the other side, the leaf is somewhat fuzzy at the midvein, there where these side veins branch out from the midvein. You can see some tan colored fuzz there. There, another one. Let's take a look at this one here. It's fuzzy there again, and a little bit, maybe if you're pushing it, it's also fuzzy there, but that's really pushing it. So that's how the leaves look like. Now that's black oak. What I want to bring in here is, for contrast, is a red oak leaf. Why would I bring in a red oak leaf in a black oak video? You'll see it at the end. There is a good reason for it. I have a red oak video on the features of red oak. I'll include a link. You can see the whole video. So red oak leaves, let me just take it away from black oak here. They have maybe that background. They have 9 lobes. Okay, I'm holding the first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the 9th one is the terminal one pointing forward. Besides, the width of the leaf here between the notches here is the widest, and then it's tapering narrower and narrower. So it's narrower here, even narrower here, and narrowest here. Okay, so they are the width of the leaf here between lobes at the notches is tapering. So that's red oak. Forget red oak for now. Back to black oak. Okay, the width of the leaf is fairly uniform between the first 2 pairs of notches and the second pair of notches, there and there. Okay, so just those 2 spots, and then it's super skinny there. So that's how leaves look like. The buds are in small clusters. The terminal buds are biggest, of course, and they are slightly fuzzy, but just barely, you can just barely take it out. The tips of these buds are fuzzy, as well as the red leaf, bud scales are also fuzzy. The twig is this chocolate brown. This year's twig, the fresh twig or the latest twig, is this chocolate brown with these gray dots on it. Those gray dots are lenticels. Lenticels are basically gas exchange holes that form in the skin of the shoot, as well as on the underside of the leaves, but you don't see them there. When the bark changes color to second year bark here, it becomes gray, and then you can't see the gray lenticels on the gray bark anymore. So that's leaf, buds, and shoots. Over here, take a look at the acorns. I have a bunch of acorns, acorn cups. These ones are first year acorns because acorns take 2 years to mature, and some of them drop out prematurely or drop down. Yesterday's windstorm also helped, / rainstorm, and this is how the mature acorns look like. There, they have this happy chestnut color or hazelnut color, and they are round. They are about as wide as they are long, just roughly. They have this little waxy coating on the underside or on the bottom of it, and this little spike here on the bottom is a small feature that's on every acorn. They separate from the cups on impact with the ground, if they even fall with the cup. Some do, but again, some of these are undersized or partially matured. And a notable feature about how the cup and acorn interact is that less than half the acorn is covered by the cup. About a third, maybe a little more than a third, but definitely less than half of the mature acorn is covered by the cup. Same on this one, about a third. The scales on the acorn cup are tight fitting. These triangular scales that form the cup, they are not leafy, they give a texture to the cup, but they are not raised from the surface along their triangular edges or triangular points anywhere. So they are firmly on the cup along their entire surface, edges and tips. They have a short little stem. Sometimes these stems stay together like this one, or the two cups stay together with connecting with one stem. So that's how the acorns look like. And come on over, take a look at the bark briefly. And these branches are also just good looking. It's a good looking tree overall. There, it's fairly easy to climb. I mean, it needs a big hug to climb. It doesn't have too many branches in the way of climbing. And this is how the bark looks like close up. The ridges or ridge tops are flat. The furrows between the ridges are not too deep. I can't really put my finger in it. And the furrows are wide. You can see the inner bark between where the bark splits in the furrows. You can see that pinkish, that's really strong pink but very weak red. So that reddish color there is the color of the actual inner bark and the color of the wood. Same there. And I have a separate video on identifying red oak wood, and when the link becomes available, I'll post it here. There's more of the same reddish color here where the bark splits at the bottom of these furrows everywhere. One more feature about this mighty oak is that the root system interacts with fungi in a symbiotic relation. And I don't know if these are truffles or what kind of fungi these are, but there's lots of these. There's more there. There's one there that got stepped on. I don't know if I stepped on it. I don't think so. I guess these are not truffles, these have gills. There. Well, that's this one. So anyhow, this symbiotic relationship exists between fungi and oaks, and truffles are sought after people, especially has a culture in Europe. They train animals to find out truffles, but truffle finding by animals is by and large banned because it because it involves digging up some of the roots and disturbing the whole site. So that's how black oak looks like. One more thing about black oak, and this is why I brought up the red oak leaf, is because black oak, even in its natural habitat, hybridizes freely with red oak. There is a red oak tree yonder, and the hybridizing means that the pollen spread by the wind floats over there from that tree to this tree, and the pollen is able to pollinate the flowers. The resultant acorns that this tree produces, I have a pile of which here on the backpack, will grow into trees that will share the features of both black oaks and red oaks. Okay, so it may have, the resultant trees may have leaves of red oaks and acorns of black oaks, or any other combination of mixed botanical features. So that's why I just mentioned red oaks, but it's a separate species, but they do hybridize with black oaks quite readily in their natural habitat, as well as probably here, if I took those acorns, they would probably grow into trees of mixed features. Thank you very much for watching. That's what I wanted to share about black oak.